So I was really drunk.
Okay.
That's how we'll start this off.
Sure.
I was super drunk. This was soon after Walking Dead premiered, because I just saw Walking Dead for the first time. No one knew Walking Dead really.
2011?
Yeah.
This is before I opened my store even.
Oh yeah.
Like I was doing it out of the garage, but this is before Mill Geek Comics as a brick and mortar opened. I mean, we were just kind of like dealing with at your condo apartment place. That was,
That's right. I was buying a bunch of. I was like looking at Invincible. I'm like, oh, I want to get into Invincible. So it was like Walking Dead just happened. I bought a Walking Dead #1. That was like my second comic book I purchased myself around that time. I paid like under $200 for it, signed by Kirkman and all that.
Awesome.
And I was super excited. I'm like, all right, now there's all these keys. There's so many keys out there, and they're all expensive, and I want to own them all. I'm a banker making more money than I should be at this age, and I just want to own all these cool comic books. Right. So I downloaded eBay for the first time, because I had never bought comic books off eBay. And there's this function on eBay where it'll alert you when stuff's about to end. And then obviously this is something like now we all know, and it's standard in the practice to have 30.
But 7 years ago, this was not something that was happening, right?
iPhones came out in like 2008. So this is a few years into having smartphones. Right. And I'm looking at my phone, and I'm like, oh wait, what's this? Oh, it's a ASM 129.
Yeah.
That's ending pretty soon.
Wow.
Remember, like, it was super low grade.
Oh, totally. I remember how low. Yeah.
It was like, I don't even remember what it was. It was a party. It could have been like a birthday party, or maybe it was like a Halloween or somewhere around there. But I was drunk. Like, I shouldn't have drank as much as I had, but I did. I don't typically drink, but I remember being really drunk and walking out of the room because there was a bunch of people there, and I got a notification that this Punisher, first appearance Punisher's ASM 129 VG was ending in like 3 minutes. So I go to the other room, and I'm looking at it, and yeah, I paid like, at the time, like $300 for this book.
For a VG.
For a VG. And I'm thinking, like, as I clicked it, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to get it. You've probably been there.
Yeah.
You're about to buy something, and you're like, I'll just throw the bid in there. It's probably not going to happen. And then when you lose out,
it's
like,
a sense of relief, though.
You're like,
you're like,
oh, that was a close one. I really didn't want that, but I won it, and I won it for at the time
probably twice what it was
worth. And I immediately sent you a picture of it, and I'm like, I think I just made a mistake.
Yeah, and I looked at it, and it's like the corner was ripped and it had rust on the staples, and I'm like, really? They even advertised it as a VG? This looks hatched.
Oh, it was bad.
Let's see it in person. We'll see what we can do.
That's what you said. You said that. Let's just, Tom, don't worry about it. Let's just see it. That's what you said, dude. You said that.
That's
and
how
I'm
you
like,
have to deal with it, right?
I responded with, do you think I messed up? You're like, Tom, you said, you know what? You'll forget about the things that you bought. Seller's regret, though, you'll never live down.
Right.
But eventually you'll forget about it. You said something like, you said it much more, much more, it's through text message, fewer words, but it was essentially, you're like, buyer's regret will fade, but seller's regret, that lasts forever. It was something like that. And that let me know. I remember not being drunk enough to know that, okay, I definitely overpaid for this comic book.
Right.
But that was like the first time that I knowingly spent easily over $100 on something I shouldn't have, because I just was so excited and I just wanted it, and I wanted to win that auction, and it happened. But that's not the first time, and I'm sure that isn't going to be the only time. I mean, there's been plenty of times where those types of things have happened. But I think it's all of us, right?
Oh, absolutely. You get really, really excited about a collection coming in, or you get really excited about seeing something on eBay and, oh, it's under market and yada, yada. I've had points in time where I bought things, or I'm looking at things and I'm like, oh, this is super undervalued. My budget's $500. Oh, it's a German printing. Oh, that's why it's only $99. Okay, cool. Then I won't buy that, and I won't make the German printing mistake. But even in the shop, pay attention, do your research, do everything that you can. And even when you think you've done all of your research, do it a second time.
Yep.
I had a guy come in with a long box collection, and it was lower grade, like war Joe Kubert cover type 1970s stuff, weird war tales and things like that.
Cool,
and
not
it's
super wanted.
No, but it's like low grade and not worth a whole lot. It's the type of thing that I generally put in my $2 bin. and there's a bunch of books there, and I'm looking at them and I'm flipping through it. And I don't want to offer them nothing, but they're kind of hashed. And I told him, like, okay, I'll give you $50 for the whole long box. And I mean, it was a low grade reader, and I'm figuring it, 200 comics, give or take, in the box. I mean, that's, 20 cents, 22 cents a comic or something. They're like, okay, cool, happy. And they left and they took their $50. And I turned the box around and it said 10 comics for $1. Because they had been selling them at their garage sale at 10 cents a piece.
So it's all been picked
So
up.
I just gave them twice of what they had been asking at the garage sale after all of the keys had been picked up.
Yep. It happens.
It does happen.
It happens.
Do your research. Pay attention. Make sure that, when you're buying things, impulse buy is the worst thing. I love having the app telling you when something happens, but when it tells you 10-minute lead time, 10 minutes is not enough time to do the research on those books. You really need to get an alert for when it's first listed. If it's a 7-day auction, do your research in the first couple days. What are comparable prices? What are CGCs selling for? Look at the pictures. Contact the seller. Don't contact the seller directly and say, I'm going to make you an offer now, because no seller wants to sell it on the second day. They won't do it. And then also don't contact them 30 minutes before the end of the auction and say, hey, can you send me photos of the spine and the interior and the back page and this thing and this thing? And are there any coupons missing? And where did this come from? And where's the provenance? And how does it smell like? And what's the, yellowing color of it? No, 30 minutes before the auction ends is not that time either. Right?
Exactly.
Get me in the first 24, 48 hours that it's been listed. We can talk a little bit, but oh my God, it does happen. And it's easy to do on eBay. You can set auto bids, you can do auction sniper type stuff all the time and just miss out.
I had there was a collection that was divvied up. I screwed up big time. All right, this was another one of those not happy moments. I think I may have made a little bit of money, but it would have never happened in any other situation. But essentially what happened is there was someone on eBay who posted like 7 auctions all at the same time. Sure. Like they set them off all at the same time. Must have had an Octiva hookup or something. Right. And each of the auctions was a part of this larger collection, because you can tell all these books, they were all like, this one has Silver Surfer 34, 35, 36, 37. And then this other auction has 38, 39, 40. But there were like 10 comics in each batch.
Sure, but they were parceling them out, yeah.
And they put the keys in all of them. They spread them out because they wanted to have a bunch of different auctions go up.
Very wise.
There was Silver Surfer 48 in one of them. I mean, I remember that. I had a Silver Surfer 48 that was gorgeous for a pretty long time. It came from this collection. Now,
Fantastic Four 48?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, what I'm saying. So
it's okay, but yes.
Yes.
Which is
Silver
much bigger.
Surfer, Fantastic Four 48.
Not fourth appearance of Thanos' Gauntlet.
No.
Exactly. This is Galactus, actually big book. Yeah.
Yes. So
you may have picked up a first Black Panther and undersold it if it was.
Yeah. That's another one. Yeah, there's another one.
Right.
Probably. Different podcast.
Sorry to rub that in.
No, it happens though.
I know.
We've all been there. I've also made some good money on comics. So,
right.
So this auction, what happened is I wanted these comics, so I thought, auction sniper, right? And so for those of you who don't know, if you're ever in this position where you're like, you keep losing out on comics, like how is it that at the last second I keep losing out on these bids? It's because there's a website, and this isn't the only one. There's actually a handful of them, but Auction Sniper has been kind of the one since the beginning, the one that we use to this day.
They've been around for a while.
They've had my account for a long time, but you set up your account through Auction Sniper, you put it in there, and it does the bidding for you, but it does it at the time that you want it to, so like within the last 10 seconds even. So I thought, I'm going to take advantage of this Auction Sniper. So I set up 7 different auctions on Auction Sniper, and I'm like, each one of these, the max I'll do is this amount. And I'm thinking at the time, last minute though, I'm going to decide which ones I want, and I'll cancel them. Guess what you can't do, like within the last 5 minutes of the auction?
You can't cancel them, Tom.
No, they're done. They're set up to.
Yep.
It's like, can you imagine that if like in the military, you're like, all right, special ops, you're taking this person out at this time. It's going to happen.
Right.
All right. But 5 minutes to the, oh shoot, we were wrong. We do not want you to do that. You cannot kill this person.
Yes, sorry.
I already locked it up. My eyes in the scope. I'm sorry. This guy's going to die.
Right. This trigger's getting pulled.
It's done.
No way we can stop this. Sorry.
What are we going to do? Well, that's essentially what happened. And I bought every single one at the price that I thought, if it ever, like, there's no way it's going to go that high. I'll just throw it on there. Maybe if it does, I'll get 1 or 2 of them. No, and it was like $2,000. It ended up being like $2,000. And yeah, I got the collection. I sold it. I made like maybe $2,200, but that's a lot of money to get tied up. And that's what happens. Like,
and right now they're worth $5,000 or $6,000 for
Now
the comic. It's one of those things that had you held onto them long enough, probably less regret. But truthfully, if you're young, you're getting into this, you're spending your budget, your extra, all of it. There are positions and points in time that you're like, hey, I spent too much.
Yep.
I spent my mortgage payment on comic books. I need to get my mortgage payment back. And you end up finding someone else in town who buys it for whatever you paid for it, or a little bit of a loss. I mean, there are points in time that I've bought collections, flipped them for what I paid for or less than what I paid for, just because it was at a bad enough time that I wasn't able to move on. Caveat, not 100% certain. I used Auction Sniper last week to try and win a book. I set my bid at 50. The book went for 26. Not quite certain why it went through, so I'm going to have to refigure out what's going on with Auction Sniper.
Okay.
Didn't send any of my bids in, so...
oh, that's kind of strange.
Yeah, it really,
Sometimes it doesn't work. It's not
I really
always
wanted
accurate.
that book too.
What was it?
Oh, it was an autographed Kurt Vonnegut book. I'm a big. It was one of my favorite authors, and it was just a first edition autographed book of his, and it went way below market value. He passed away 10 years ago, and just one of those things that I'm like, oh, I'll set a bid for $50, and it.
Boom.
Yeah,
I like it.
Missed it. Oh well.
Very good.
Yeah,
Well, buyer's regret happens.
it does.
But you know what? It's gonna happen when you're in this, when you're doing the comic game. And you gotta limit it. You gotta try to limit it to what you can, and not look back.
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't
Drive yourself
look back at
crazy.
all. You really will. Yes.
I think it's a good place to stop.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your time here with Russ Bright from Mill Geek Comics. If you need comics, you can contact Russ at millgeekcomics@gmail.com. Geek responsibly. Enough said. Thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button. And if you need comics, go to geekstreet101.com. I'll help you make that happen.